Ez a minden mindegy.
The Ukrainians know that if the Tisza party comes, then the leaders of the Tisza party will say yes to everything Brussels asks for, thereby giving Hungarian money for the operation of Ukraine. We heard 800 billion euros for the operation of the Ukrainian state, 700 billion euros for expenses. That is 1,500 billion euros. They approve this with 400, and then it will come out in forints. So, 1,500 billion forints would also be a lot, but it's 400 times that. 400 times that is what they want to take to Ukraine. So the Ukrainians know exactly that the outcome of the parliamentary elections in Hungary is crucial for Ukraine as well. If Fidesz wins, if the national government stays, then the Ukrainians cannot precede the European Union. The Ukrainians cannot drag Hungary into the war, and the Ukrainians cannot take away the Hungarians' money to operate the corrupt regime. In the case of the Tisza party, Ukraine can join the European Union, and they can involve the Hungarians into the war, and they can also take the Hungarians' money to Ukraine. This is what is at stake in the Hungarian parliamentary election from the Ukrainian perspective, and this is also at stake from the Hungarian perspective. Therefore, based on the qualitatively new situation this weekend, the stakes of the election are Hungary or Ukraine. And the Ukrainians, I repeat, openly, shamelessly, even in international politics amid the current waves, began an unusual, crude interference in the Hungarian parliamentary election. Practically, President Zelensky and his foreign minister announced their entry into the Hungarian parliamentary election under the name of Tisza, established the Kiev branch of the Tisza party, and will not shy away from using any means over the next 2.5 months in this regard to influence the outcome of the Hungarian election. We must not allow this. If we hand over the decision-making power to the Ukrainians, we lose our sovereignty, and then our country would have to go to war. And then the Ukrainians will enter the European Union. They will bring in the Ukrainian mafia, and they will take our money to operate their own corrupt Ukrainian regime. So this week has seen an increase. The election has risen a new quality situation. The Ukrainians are rudely and openly interfering in the Hungarian electoral process. Moreover, we have a man in Ukraine, well, not we, Peter Magyar has. The Ukrainian government, the Ukrainian president, practically announced that they will participate in the election through the Kiev branches of the Tisza party. So, what explains the increasing number of statements from Ákos Hadházi, Peter Magyar, to Roland Sieber that are now before us, questioning the credibility of the election 70 several days before the election, which is already a cry of fraud, over 70 days before the election a lawsuit challenge. So this is all about one thing. They have started to price in their own defeat. They have started to explain their own defeat in advance. We, on the other hand, must prepare for victory. Let's take a look at what's happening. It's really quite harsh, isn't it? There has been a war going on in Ukraine for 4 years. People have died, hundreds of thousands of people. It could be millions. We don't know the exact numbers. Many millions have left the country. The whole country is in ruins. There is hardly any electricity. The mayor of Kiev is asking people to leave the city. In contrast, Zelensky, the president of this country, where hundreds of thousands are dying, millions are fleeing, the capital must be abandoned, goes to Davos, gives a speech, and after 4 years of warfare behind him, his main point is about Viktor Orban. So this also shows that the parliamentary elections in Hungary are a key issue from the Ukrainian perspective, and a key issue from our own perspective as well. So, Zelensky's speech in Davos, and then Szijjártó's extremely cultured post with accusations of Nazism, Hitlerism, and money laundering, what does it show? It all shows that for the Ukrainians it doesn't matter anymore. The outcome of the Hungarian parliamentary elections is a key issue for the Ukrainians, and in the next 76 days they will not shy away from using any tools just to intervene in the election and influence the final outcome. Look, because the Ukrainians came forward after 150, I don't know, how many billion euros in war loans, military support, weapon support, cash. They already received everything from the European Union. After this, they came forward with the demand that we should give another $800 billion for the operation of the Ukrainian state, and $700 billion so they can arm themselves and realize their dream of building up this 800,000-strong Ukrainian army. 1.5 trillion euros. It is not a normal thing. It is not normal. It's not a normal thing that Europe, in its current extremely dire economic situation, wants to spend the money of European people to create an 800,000-strong army in Ukraine. Look, the thing is, if someone follows the news, they can see that in Ukraine people are practically being hunted down on the street. Men are being conscripted into the army with brutal cruelty, and they are taken away to the front line. And of course, it is also clear that two nuclear powers in Europe have decided to send soldiers to Ukraine. And European political leaders openly talk about how this is our war, Europe's war, and obviously they want to win it. And if they want to win it, then they need to put resources into it. And despite sending weapons to Ukraine, it is clear that it's not working. Well, they have been sending, I don't know, thousands or hundreds of tons of weapons to Ukraine for 4 years, and the Ukrainians are not advancing even a bit, while the Russians keep pushing them back. This is why they are now talking more and more openly about needing to send soldiers, because sending weapons is pointless if there is no one to use them or knows how to use them. It's Brussels that is isolated. Brussels, along with the European Union, has become isolated due to their foolish, unsuitable, overly ideologized foreign policy. In Europe, there is only one political leader today, one Viktor Orban, who can simultaneously maintain and build connections in Washington, Moscow, Beijing, Ankara, and other key centers of global politics that are important from our current perspective, and keep them in good cooperation. For 11 years, I've been listening to this nonsense that Hungary is isolated. No, Hungary is not isolated. It is the European Union, Brussels, that is isolated. We Hungarians have pursued a successful foreign policy strategy because we have built those alliances that are important for the functioning of the country.